Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is May 18th. MLB Rivalry weekend has come and gone, and Schwarber's on a heater. Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today, ladies and gentlemen? Another weekend of baseball is in the books, and the season is slowly really starting to feel like a baseball season. Obviously, with NBA and NHL playoffs still going on, it doesn't still quite feel like it's just baseball, because obviously there's a lot of big games going on across the sports world still, but the season continues to roll on, games continue to get played. And with that being said, let's jump into our series recap. MLB Rivalry weekend starts off with the Citrus Series. The Marlins and the Rays, Yandy Diaz, Cedric Mullins, they both go deep in a 7-2 Rays win. Game 2 would end up in extras. Both teams scored in the 9th, which gave Marlins the lead, but the Rays answered, so that's how we got to extras. The Marlins, though, scored 8 runs in the 10th. They're the first team to do so since the 2012 Rockies, scoring 8+ runs in extras, and they're just the third team to score 8+ runs in extras total since the runner on second rule started, joining the 2025 Giants and the 2022 Athletics. Marlins win it 10-5, and in the rubber match, Junior Caminero homers, as does Yandy Diaz, his second of the series. 6-3 Rays as they take 2 of 3 from the Marlins. The Blue Jays and Tigers now tied up at 2. The Tigers end up walking it off on a Spencer Torkelson double. They take the opener 3-2. Yohendrick Piniago hits his first career MLB home run, which tied this game up in the 7th. We went to extras where the Jays are able to score 1 in the 10th and hold the Tigers. Blue Jays win it 2-1. And in that last game, Vladdy breaks his homer slump, hits his 3rd homer of the year in the first inning. Blue Jays win it 4-1 and take 2 of 3 from Detroit. The Reds and Guardians face off in the Ohio Cup. Matt McLain homers to make it a 5-run lead for the Reds. The Guardians made it interesting by scoring 4 in the 8th, 2 on walks, by the way, but they do fall short of their comeback. Reds hold on 7-6 the final. The Guardians score 5 unanswered as Angel Martinez goes yard. The Guardians win it 7-4 in Game 2. And in the last game, it's a homer frenzy. Chase DeLauder, Brian Rocchio, Angel Martinez, Jose Ramirez, and Kyle Manzardo homer twice. You got 6 total homers for the Guards. The first time they've done that since 2019. They win it 10-3 and beat the Reds 2-3 in the series. Brewers and Twins, Jake Bauers gets an RBI double in the 8th, which breaks this tie and gives the Brewers a 3-2 victory. Jackson Chourio hits his first homer of the year, which breaks the tie and is the difference in a 2-1 Brewers win. And in the last game, Garrett Mitchell and Christian Yelich both homer for the Brewers, but Ryan Jeffers would homer, which breaks the tie and helps the Twins win to avoid this sweep as they take a 5-4 victory. Chicago, Cubs and the White Sox in the Crosstown Classic. The White Sox hit 3 home runs from Colson Montgomery, Miguel Vargas, and Jared Kelenic, but the Cubs scored plenty of runs, all without a home run. They end up winning it 10-5. In the next game, Miguel Vargas and Colson Montgomery homer again, and this time they're joined by their third, Munetaka Murakami, who picks up his first career multi-homer game. He has 2 homers in this one. Andrew Benintendi also goes deep. 5 White Sox home runs lead to an 8-3 victory. And in the last game, Tristan Peters gives the White Sox a lead with a 3-run shot in the 8th, but the Cubs down 3 in the 9th. Michael Conforto hits a 3-run game-tying homer. We send it to extras, but that just delays the inevitable. White Sox pick it up. Edgar Quiero walks it off with his first homer of the season, a walk-off blast, 9-8 White Sox. Dodgers and Angels in the Freeway Series. 3 homers from Andy Pages, Max Muncy, and Teoscar Hernandez were all the Dodgers needed in a 6-0 victory, as these next 2 games started to get blowouts. The Dodgers had a 4-run inning and 2 different 5-run innings in the second game, leading to a 15-2 win. And in the last game, it's another 5-run inning for the Dodgers, helping them to a 10-1 win as the Dodgers sweep the Angels. The Padres and the Mariners now in the Vetter Cup. The Padres pitching blanks the Mariners in the opener. They scored just enough in a 2-0 win for San Diego. Gavin Sheets and Nick Castellanos both go deep, as does Rodolfo Duran, who spent 11 years in the minors, picks up his first career MLB home run. What a moment for him. The Padres win it 7-4, and in the last game, Gavin Sheets with a hell of a game and a hell of a series. He gets 2 more homers in that last game, 4 more RBIs, as Lucas Giolito makes his first start of the year with the Padres. 8-3 San Diego. They sweep the Mariners in the Vetter Cup. Giants and A's in what is now I'm calling the ex-Bay Bridge series. Nick Kurtz hits a big 3-run go-ahead homer in the 5th, helping the difference in a 5-2 A's victory. Casey Schmidt launches not 1 but 2 homers for his 7th and 8th of the year in a 6-4 Giants win. And in the last game, Luis Arias hits his 2nd homer of the series and of the season. The Giants score 8 in the 8th, and it's capped off with a Harrison Bader grand slam. They win it 10-1 and take 2 of 3 from the A's. We move to Texas now for the Rangers and Astros in the Lone Star Series. Isaac Paredes, his 4th home run, helps the Astros as Spencer Arrighetti brings a no-no into the 8th. 2-0 Astros the final. We've got 4 Astros solo shots from Jose Altuve, Yordan Alvarez, Christian Walker, and Zach Cole in a 4-1 Astros win. And in the last game, Jake Berger, he picks up a homer. He picks up 4 RBIs in the game. Kyle Higashioka also homers. 8-0. The Rangers take that one, but the Astros take the series. Orioles and Nationals in the Beltway series. Dalen Lyle hits a 2-run homer. That's the difference in a 3-2 Nationals win. In Game 2, Keibert Ruiz, Jacob Young, and Brady House all homer in a 13-3 Nationals win. And in the last game, the Oilers get revenge with 3 homers from Gunnar Henderson, Kobe Mayo, and Colton Cowser, as Baltimore avoids the sweep with a 7-3 victory. Moving on, we have the Red Sox and the Braves. Drake Baldwin, Michael Harris II, both go deep for the Braves, while Marcelo Mayer homers for the Red Sox. We end up in extras where the Braves hold the Sox in the 10th, and then Mike Yastrzemski calls the game. He hits the walk-off double for the win. Braves take it in 10, 3-2 the final. Drake Baldwin's getting hot as he homers again, but with the game tied in the 8th, it's Wilson Contreras that gives the Red Sox lead. His 9th homer of the season gives Red Sox a 3-2 victory. And in the rubber match, Austin Riley hits a 3-run homer in the 1st, which sets the tone. Mike Yastrzemski homers later on. The Braves end up winning it 8-1, take 2 of 3 from Boston. It's the Yankees, it's the Mets, it's the Subway Series. Soto goes deep for the Mets in the opener, but Ben Rice homers for the Yankees, and Cam Schlittler continues his dominant start to the season. Yankees win it 5-2. In Game 2, Mark Vientos picks up a big 2 RBI double, which ends up being the difference in a 6-3 Mets win. And with the Mets in the last game down 3 in the 9th, Tyrone Taylor hits a game-time homer. A 3-run shot gives the Mets a chance in extras. And after holding the Yankees, the Mets finish off the comeback win in walk-off fashion as Carson Bench hits one up the middle. It's a fielder's choice as the second base and shortstop run into each other, both going for the ball, trying to get the out at home. It ends up being a 7-6 Mets walk-off win. They take 2 of 3 from the Yankees and win the Subway Series. Phillies and Pirates in the unnamed Poop Series. Even though the scoreboard is changing, that series does not change. The Pirates scored 6 in the 3rd with the help from Brandon Lau and Marcel Ozuna. They both go deep. Lau ends up with a 2-homer game, homering later on, but so does Kyle Schwarber, who hits his 19th and 20th homers on the year to help tie the game. The Phillies score 3 in the 9th. That ties it up. We go to extras where they score another 3 runs in the 10th. They hold the Pirates to just 1 as the Phillies come back from down 5 to win the opener 11-9. Game 2, Harper tattooed a 3-run homer 457 feet as Christopher Sanchez goes complete game shutout in a 6-0 Phillies win. Harper homers again in the last game. He's joined by Bryson Stott. The Phillies get to Skeens and win another one 6-0, and they sweep the Pirates. Royals and Cardinals now. Jordan Walker and Pedro Pages both go deep for the Cardinals. This one ends up in extras though, but it's Yohel Pozo who walks it off for the Cardinals. A single for the win, 5-4 St. Louis in 11. Alex Burleson picks up 2 RBIs in a 4-2 Cardinals win. And in the last game, it's El Capitan Salvador Perez hitting his 7th of the year, helping the Royals to a 2-0 victory to avoid the sweep to St. Louis in St. Louis. Lastly, we have the D-backs and the Rockies. The D-backs score 6 in the first and would roll on from there as Merrill Kelly finishes the complete game 9-1 D-backs. Mickey Moniak picks up 2 RBIs in a 4-2 Rockies win. And in the road match, Corbin Carroll has a 2-homer game. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. picks up his first of the season. The D-backs win it 8-6, take 2 of 3 from the Rockies, and that's your series recap. All right, now let's get into the games of the weekend. That's right, I said games. We've got 3 absolute thrillers over the weekend here. We're starting in Pittsburgh on Friday. O'Neal Cruz picks up a 2 RBI single to start the scoring in this 3rd inning. And like I said, it's a 6-run inning. Brandon Lau, a 2-run shot, his 11th of the year. Marcell Ozuna, a 2-run shot, his 5th of the year. The Pirates lead it 6-0. The Phillies start coming back in the top of the 4th. Bryson Stott, a sac fly, makes it 6-1. Very next inning, it's Kyle Schwarber, whose 19th homer of the season is a 2-run shot. It cuts the lead in half. It's 6-3. Bottom 5, Brandon Lau does it again. His 12th of the year. A solo shot makes it 7-3 Pittsburgh. Bottom 6, Jared Triolo, he would reach on an error from Alec Bohm, which allows Horwitz to score, making it 8-3 Pittsburgh and having a 5-run lead entering the 7th. Where Kyle Schwarber does it again, his second of the game, his 20th of the year, the first player to reach 20 homers on the season. 2-run shot, it's 8-5. We go into the top of the 9th. Where Kyle Schwarber would walk after challenging a pitch. Well, Soto challenged a pitch after it was called a ball. Call was confirmed. Schwarber, bases loaded, walk. It's 8-6. Then we had Harper, who nearly hit a go-ahead grand slam. The call on the field was a home run. It was challenged. It was overturned, or it was not challenged. It was challenged for the home run. Wasn't a home run. It was upheld. Basically, what ends up happening is a Bryce Harper single, 2-run score, but there is an out, and it's 8-8. And that sends us to extras. That's, I know, crazy at bat. If you didn't see it, we'll go and look at it. Top 10, Brandon Marsh picks up the RBI double. Phillies have the lead 9-8. Rafael Marichan then picks up a 2-run single, making it 11-8. In the bottom of the 10th, Connor Griffin would ground out for the second out of the inning. A run does come in to score, but that is it for the Pittsburgh Pirates. They blow this one. Philly with an amazing comeback. Schwarber 2 homers, 11-9 Philly, the final. That was the first game of the Poop Series. We now look at the last games here. First one we're going to is Chicago. Between the Cubs and the White Sox, they're playing in their rubber match, and it's Michael Busch who hits his 4th homer of the season, a 2-run shot in the first, and that makes it 2-0 the Cubs. Later on in the inning, Alex Bregman scores on a wild pitch, so the Cubs score 3 in the first. Bottom second, Edgar Quiero picks up an RBI single to get the White Sox on the board. Top 4, Bregman picks up an RBI single to get that run back, making it 4-1 Chicago Cubs. I can't say Chicago because they're both Chicago. Benintendi then picks up an RBI double in the bottom of the fourth to get that run back. It's 4-2. We move on to the bottom of the fifth, where Miguel Vargas ties this game up with a 2-run double, making it 4-4. We go to the bottom of the eighth, where Tristan Peters picks up his first of the year. It's a 3-run homer, and that makes it 7-4 White Sox. Not only was that his first homer of the year, that was his first homer of his MLB career. I just realized 7-4 White Sox. Top nine, down three. Michael Conforto hits a 3-run game tying homer. 7-7. We move to extras where Bregman will ground out. A run comes in to score, making it 8-7. And then in the bottom of the 10th, down that run, Edgar Quiero launches his first homer of the season. It's a 2-run walk-off home run. The White Sox take the Crosstown Classic Series, taking it 2-3, and the White Sox win it 9-8 in the 10th inning, a thriller in Chicago. The last game of the weekend here, we're going to New York. Queens, to be exact. It's the Yankees and it's the Mets. Game 3. Who wins the Subway Series here? Top of the third, Ben Rice picks up his second homer of the series, his 15th on the season. Solo shot makes it 1-0 New York. We move to the bottom of the fourth, where Marcus Semien doubles in a run to tie this one up at 1. Top 6, Anthony Volpe delivering with the bat here, a 2-run single for him. Ahmed Rosario picks up a sac fly, and then thanks to an error by Bo Bichette, Trent Grisham would reach. Volpe comes in to score. The Yankees score 4 in the 6th to take a 5-1 lead. Bottom 6, Luis Torrens picks up a 2-run double to get the Mets kind of rolling here. It's 5-3 going into the top of the 7th with the bases loaded. Volpe would walk to score a run, but it stays that way. They only get the 1. Yankees up 3 entering the bottom of the 9th. Bednar coming in looking for the save, but ends up meeting the bat of Tyrone Taylor, who launches his 3rd homer of the season. A 3-run shot ties this game up at 6. It gives the Mets new life as we head into extras. The Mets hold the Yankees. Devin Williams a clean inning, and then Carson Benz reaches on a fielder's choice as the fielders from second and short for the Yankees end up running into each other as they were both trying to get the ball to throw it home. Marcus Semien ends up scoring, and the Mets walk it off. The Subway Series goes in their favor. They take 2 of 3, win this one 7-6 in 10, and that is your third and final game of the weekend. Some great games here as we now get going into the baseball news. And I wanted to just first mention MLB's rivalry weekend once again. I think they've done a really good job. I think it's really fun when this series comes around. It was the first time ever last year, and this was their second year of doing so. And I believe it's going to be something that we continue to see here, as we had that schedule change a few years ago where every team will play everyone at some point. No matter what, you're going to get these kinds of series, so might as well make it fun and have them all kind of get played at the same time. And this is something that happened again. And I will say the one thing that does irk me a little bit is because they post the scores, on the social medias after the games and everything. A lot of the series have really fun and quirky, names. The Marlins and Rays, they both are in Florida. Their series is called the Citrus Series. The Reds and Guardians, both based in Ohio. That's the Ohio Cup. Both teams in Chicago, the Crosstown Classic. The Dodgers and Angels have the Freeway Series. Padres and Mariners, the Vetter Cup. Giants and A's, they were the Bay Bridge Series, but with the A's relocating, I nicknamed them the ex-Bay Bridge Series. But still, a lot of these series have very unique and fun series. The Pirates and Phillies technically don't, but everyone just calls it the Poop Series because, we're all mature here. But there was 5 teams outside of, the normal other ones that don't really have a series name, or at least it wasn't being recognized on the social media. So I think next year they got to kind of come up with something here. You have the Jays and Tigers, the Brewers and Twins, the Red Sox and Braves, Royals and Cardinals, and D-backs and Rockies. Those are the 5 series that really weren't being called anything. I was looking at Google. I'm like, does anyone call anything? Is it like a fan base thing, but MLB doesn't recognize it? Like, I have no idea. I found out that the Royals and Cardinals sometimes are referred to as the I-70 series because it's what connects the two of them. Because, of course, the reason rivalry weekend is a thing is basically the two teams that are closest geographically, and it kind of works out that way. Obviously, that's why you have two LA teams that battle, two Cubs teams that battle, not two Cubs teams, two Chicago teams, two New York teams, etc. The Jays and Tigers can sometimes be referred to as the Great Lake Showdown because obviously the Great Lakes there separate, Toronto and Detroit in a way. But the Brewers, Twins, D-backs, Rockies, they don't really have anything that I saw that people call these series. Red Sox and Braves kind of have a historical rivalry because they were both based in New England at one point before the Braves moved to Atlanta, and their rivalry is kind of one of the largest to date, going back years and years and years. So I mean, you could definitely come up with something for the Red Sox and Braves, and like I said, the Royals, Cardinals, the I-70 series, Jays, Tigers, the Great Lakes Showdown. But I feel like if rivalry weekend continues to be a thing here, you're gonna want all 15 series to kind of be known for something. Padres and Mariners, the Vetter Cup, and like the Texas Rangers and Houston Astros, the Lone Star Series. I feel like that makes it a little bit more fun, especially for these teams that don't really have like some of these aren't like rivalries. Like obviously Yankees and Mets, like that's a big rivalry, sure. Yankees and Red Sox is a bigger one. Dodgers and LA, yeah, it's a rivalry, but Dodgers and Giants is a bigger one. But a team like the Twins here, I mean, like if I was gonna look at this Twins team, I was like, oh, who's the Twins' biggest rivalry? I wouldn't really say the Brewers. Yeah, they're closest together, so obviously there is, it's a little meaningful when they do play, but like come up with something then, come up with a name for the series, make it a little bit more interesting. Like I think they've done a good job promoting it, making it its own kind of thing, making this weekend seem it's a little bit more different than other weekends or other times these guys face each other. But I think it could be a little bit more. I think it's fun. It's good. I enjoy the games this weekend, but give me a little bit more. Give me some like action. I'm not saying let's go have them fight on the street or anything, but like let's. It doesn't feel like some of these series don't feel like rivals yet. Obviously some are, but like some really need that like more of that like oomph to like really get there. Like Royals and Cardinals, like I want them to hate each other, like the way the Cardinals fans hate the Cubs. Like if you're a fan of of your team, whatever it is, if you're a Tigers fan, a Rockies fan, a Yankees fan, whoever you may be, when you get to rivalry weekend, you should hate the other team. Like if I'm a Jays fan, I should want to hate the Tigers, and I feel like we haven't gotten there yet. And granted, it is only their second year of doing so, so I think there's definitely things that they could do to improve. But for 2 years in, it's been fun, it's been good. Third year, if it does come back, which I assume it will, if we do have a baseball season the next year. But if rivalry weekend sticks around, I think they can just keep adding to it. Name some of these series, make it fun, make it exciting, make it more of a we need to win. Give more of an incentive. I like what you got to win these series. They had 3 sweeps, the other 12 just kind of took it, but like I want it to mean something. A little bit more. But yeah, it's an enjoyable weekend overall here. Moving on, let's talk a little bit about Kyle Schwarber because he's been unreal recently. We go back to that Friday game where he hit 2 homers for his 19th and 20th of the year. At that point, he was the first and so far is the only player to reach 20 homers on the year. But in that time frame, the last 8 games, so Friday and then the last other 7 games, he had 9 homers in those 8 games. He's been absolutely killing it. He was nowhere near the home run leaderboards at the first month of the season. Really, like I think he was sitting at like 6 or something. But the month of May, he has turned it around. And he's been the player that he's been advertised, man. Like he's gonna get hot. He's gonna hit homers. Kyle Schwarber's bat is unreal. He has been one of the most prolific home run hitters in recent years with the likes of Judge and Ohtani. But like what he does, and the Phillies re-signing him was so important for their team here. He can change the game. A 2-run homer, a 3-run shot. When you get runners on and you get this guy up to bat, he can change the outcome of a game, and he did so on Friday. Again, the Pirates were up 6 runs. They scored 3 in the third. Take away Schwarber in that lineup, those 2 homers don't happen. There's no extras. Pirates win the game. So Kyle Schwarber single-handedly wins them ball games. I think he's at pace to hit like 72 or 73 homers right now at this rate. So again, obviously, 4.5 months of baseball left to play, obviously a long time, but if he can keep this pace up or even go more, I mean, we're looking at maybe one of the greatest home run years ever. But again, obviously, season's still long. We're only in May, but if we get to July and we're still like, oh, Kyle Schwarber might hit 70, like, that would be very impressive. So Kyle Schwarber, he's hitting the cover off of baseballs. If you play the Phillies, watch out pitching to him because he's not the guy you want to face. And now Harper's getting hot too. I mean, this Phillies team, granted, started cold. They fire Rob Thompson. Don Mattingly takes over. But this Phillies team is starting to get real hot right now. So much so that they're back above 500 for the first time since April. Yeah, April 8th to be exact. It's been over a month of being 500 and below. With their win on Sunday to sweep the Pirates, they're back to above 500. That's super important. They've been killing it. Good for Don Mattingly, good for Schwarber, good for Harper, good for the rest of the team. Keep it up, and maybe you can challenge the Braves come August and September. Last little bit here of baseball news. We are talking about the Mariners because they are calling up their number 1 prospect, the number 6 prospect in MLB as a whole. Colt Emerson is getting the call. He's got the call, to be exact. He did play in the last game of the Vetter Cup on Sunday against the Padres. If you're wondering why that name sounds familiar, because it's not the first time we've talked about Colt Emerson this year, because he is also one of those 3 players that signed the extensions, one of those young 3 players that signed an extension at the beginning of the season. He signed an 8-year, $95 million deal without stepping foot on the major league field yet. He's already going to get paid $19 million come 2033. He's on contract. He's getting $2 million this year, $3 million the next, then 10, 13, 15, 16, 17, 19, and then the Mariners will have a club option for him in 2034 worth $25 million. So again, he's already locked up the next 8 years. He's already getting paid, and he has done nothing in the major leagues thus far. But the Mariners have this kid in high regard. You look at his years in the minors, he is absolutely brilliant. Of course, started in 2023 when he got drafted in 22. I believe that was the year he got drafted. In 262 minor league games, he has 287 hits, 63 doubles, 8 triples, 29 homers, 154 RBIs, a 282 batting average, and an 837 OPS. In the game that he got into on Sunday, his major league debut, went 0 for 2, but had a walk and scored a run. So, not the worst day at the office. There's a very good chance that come Friday we'll be talking about Colt Emerson picking up his first career major league hit, maybe even his first career major league homer. Who knows? But again, the Mariners have this kid in high regards, as does MLB. I mean, if you're a number 6 prospect, you definitely get a little bit of love here. And he's just another name to join this list of what is turning to be one of my favorite rookie years in a long time. I mean, you got to go back to like 2019 when Brian Reynolds was coming up for the Pirates, and Tatis for the Padres, and Vladdy for the Blue Jays, Bichette for the Blue Jays, Soto for the Nationals. Like, that was a really good year. Acuna for the Braves, even though, he was the year before, but like he was like breaking out even more that year. That was one of my favorite rookie years. This one might even top that. I've loved a lot of the rookies we've seen this year. From some of the Japanese players we've had, like Munetaka Murakami and Kazuma Okamoto, to all the young players like Chase DeLauder from the Guardians, Sal Stewart from the Reds, Connor Griffin from the Pirates. You bring in Nolan McLean from the Mets, Trey Savage from the Blue Jays. Like, it's been a really fun rookie class, and that's only some of the guys. There's so many more. Carter Jensen from the Royals. The list would go on and on. J.J. Weatherholt. They just keep coming to me. So Colt Emerson will join that. So Mariners will have some fun with their new rookie, the new prospect that got the call, and we'll see how that continues to progress for him. Moving on now, that is the baseball news. So we start with the hot and colds from the week. Gavin Sheets. No one's been hotter than Gavin Sheets. His week was unreal. 10 for 16, a double, 4 homers, 8 RBIs, 6 runs. He also walked 7 times. He has a 2.177 OPS. He two-dotted this week. Absolutely insane from Gavin Sheets. Corbin Carroll is getting hot for the D-backs. 8 for 19, 3 doubles, 2 homers, 4 RBIs, 8 runs, 9 walks, a 1.502 OPS. He'll take his walks. He'll hit his homers. He's been unreal. Dalen Lyle from the Nationals, 10 for 26, a double, 4 homers for Lyle, 10 RBI, 6 runs, a 1.255 OPS. Jake Berger, 8 for 19, a double, 2 homers, 10 RBIs, 4 runs, a 1.289 OPS. And lastly, JJ Bleday, 9 for 24, 3 doubles, 2 homers, 10 RBIs, 5 runs, 4 walks, a 1.214 OPS. Those are the players who are hot right now. On the other side, the cold players include Ozzie Albies, who is 1 for 22 with 3 strikeouts. Adolis Garcia, 1 for 19 with 12 strikeouts. Not a pretty week for him. Seiya Suzuki, 3 for 25 with 10 strikeouts. Brooks Lee, 2 for 24 with 3 strikeouts. And George Springer, 2 for 20 with 4 Ks. Some of these guys need to start turning it around a little bit here. As we go into our injury updates from the weekend, who is on here? It was announced by Baltimore that Jordan Westburg will be out for the season as he has undergone an elbow surgery. He is done. Chase Dollander from the Rockies, 15-day IL with a sprained elbow. The Yankees are losing Max Fried on the 15-day IL with an elbow bone bruise. Trevor Story, 10-day IL. He has sports hernia, so we'll miss some time there. Heliot Ramos from the Giants, 10-day IL with a strained quad. Brendan Donovan on the 10-day IL with a strained groin. Clay Holmes on the 10-day IL. He has a fractured left leg after getting hit on a comebacker from Spencer Jones. He will be shut down from 6 to 8 weeks. Matt Strom from the Royals, 15-day IL with knee inflammation. Ryan O'Hearn on the 10-day IL with a strained quad. And then Blake Snell, who was on the IL to start the season, came back, made a start, was then scratched from his second start. He ends up back on the 15-day IL with elbow surgery for loose bodies. I feel like that's the third one we've had now. You know, Edwin Diaz, Tarek Skubal, and now Blake Snell with this loose bodies elbow surgery. And I still am not super aware of what this injury really is. I don't remember having it at all last year, and yet we've had 3 big names go down with it. So Blake Snell back on the IL there. As we take a look now at the outstanding performances from the weekend here from Rivalry Weekend. Joe Ryan leads us off, 6 innings, 4 hits, a run, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. Randy Vasquez, 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs, no walks, and 3 Ks. Jack Leiter, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, and 6 Ks. Spencer Arrighetti from the Astros, 7 1/3, only 1 hit, no runs, 4 walks, and 5 Ks. He brought a no-hitter into the 8th inning. Cam Schlittler continues his impressive start, 6 2/3, 2 hits, a run, 2 walks, and 9 Ks. Nick Martinez continues to be really good for the Tampa Bay Rays, 6 innings, 5 hits, no runs, a walk, and 4 Ks. Sandy Alcantara, 6 innings, 7 hits, no runs, no walks, and 6 Ks. Casey Mize, 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Christopher Sanchez, 9 innings, 6 hits, no runs, no walks, 13 strikeouts. A complete game shutout for him. His 29 2/3 innings scoreless streak is the current longest active streak in the majors. Merrill Kelly, 9 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. He picks up a complete game. Kevin Gausman goes 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs, no walks, and 5 strikeouts. Roki Sasaki, one of his most impressive starts of his career, 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, no walks, and 8 Ks. Nathan Eovaldi, 7 innings, 5 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 8 Ks. Grant Holmes goes 6, 5 hits, no runs, a walk, and 4 Ks. And lastly, Zach Wheeler continues to be so good for the Phillies. I missed him. 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs, a walk, and 8 Ks. Boy, is it nice to have him back. Phillies fans, you got to be grateful for him. As we take a look now at our standings check from the week about how the standings looking right now. Well, in the AL East, the Rays have become the first AL team to reach 30 wins. They're 7-3 in their last 10. 30-15, sit 15 games above 500. They sit 3 games above the Yankees, 28-19 for them. Blue Jays at 21-25, trying to get hot, trying to turn their season around a little bit. Baltimore at 21-26, and the Red Sox at 19-27, still ways to go. In the AL Central, the Guardians are at 26-22. The White Sox are at 24-22. They're a game back of the Guardians, who have played 2 more and have won both of them. Both the Guardians and White Sox are 7-3, but the White Sox, shout out the Chicago White Sox. I think they're their best start since 2021 when they made the postseason that year. I believe that was the last time that they made it, but after a couple of years of mediocrity and being like the worst team in baseball, this White Sox team has been very fun though thus far this season. Twins at 21-26 are in third. Tigers at 20-27, and the Royals also at 20-27. 2 teams that I thought were going to be very good this year are both struggling currently. Tigers 2-8 in their last 10. Royals 3-7 in their last 10. But again, in a weak AL right now, a good series can turn your team around. In the AL West, the A's still lead the division at 500. They're 23-23. No one in the AL West wants to take advantage. The Rangers are at 22-24. Mariners at 22-26. Astros at 19-29. And the Angels, I believe right now, are the worst team in baseball, still one of 2 teams who have yet to reach 20 wins. Sorry, one of 3 teams. 4 teams, sorry. 4 teams have yet to reach 20 wins. The Angels are at 16-31. They've lost 6 in a row, 2-8 in their last 10. In the NL East, the Braves are still the best team in baseball. They're 32-15 and are rolling with it, but are starting to have a little bit of competition as the Phillies have moved into second place. They're at 24-23, as mentioned, first time being back above 500 since April 8th. They've won 4 straight. They're 7-3 in their last 10. Yes, they're still 8 games back of the Braves, but they're starting to, click in a little bit more. Nationals at 23-24, Marlins at 21-26, with the Mets being 20-26. Still long ways to go for those teams. If you're wondering if the NL Central is still all above 500, the answer is yes. Cubs 29-28 still lead the way, a 1.5 game lead over the Brewers and Cardinals. Brewers 26-18, Cardinals 27-19. Pirates 24-23, Reds 24-23, both of them tied. But if you take any of those teams and put them in the AL West, they are winning a division as it stands. So there you go. NL Central still a bloodbath. The NL West, the Dodgers 29-18 on a 5-game winning streak. The Padres 28-18 on a 3-game winning streak. Dodgers have played an extra game and have won it, but those 2 teams are still at the top, and there's some fun stuff happening this week with those 2 teams. D-backs 22-23, trying to get back above 500. They're not 6 games out. Giants are 20-27, and the Rockies are 18-29. So the four teams that I mentioned that have yet to win 20 games are the Rockies, who are at 18, the Astros, who are at 19, the Red Sox, who are at 19, and the Angels, who are at 16. Right now, the Halos, the worst team in baseball. The Rangers at 22-24 still hold a playoff spot as it stands with a below 500 record. And everyone else outside of the Angels are within 5 games of the Rangers. So like I said, a good week of baseball, and you go from being 14th in the AL to being 6th and in a playoff spot. That's how tightly condensed BS the rest of the AL is. Meanwhile, the NL, the Pirates, Phillies, and Reds are the 3 teams outside of a playoff spot that are above 500. So that is the crazy stuff that's going down in the standings still. Eventually, that should change, you would think, but who knows? Maybe we'll have a playoff team that has a below 500 record. At this rate, who knows? That brings us to our upcoming series for the week. And as I kind of hinted at, there are some good series happening. MLB Rivalry Weekend may have come and gone, but this week there are 4 series that I am personally highlighting myself. And it starts with the Blue Jays and the Yankees in New York. They play 4. The last time these 2 teams played 4 was the ALDS. The Blue Jays won 3. The Yankees won 1. Blue Jays moved on to the ALCS. This is a very fun series. The Oilers at the Rays. You have the Red Sox at the Royals. The next fun one, Guardians at Tigers. These 2 teams, of course, they were battling it out for the AL Central all of last year in September. Tigers threw away that to the Guardians, but Tigers had the last laugh, beating them in the AL wildcard. That is a fun series to watch. You have the Astros at the Twins, the White Sox at the Mariners, A's at Angels, Braves at Marlins, Mets at Nationals, Reds at Phillies. The next series, Brewers at Cubs. That's right, an NL Central battle and an NLDS rematch. The Cubs and Brewers went through 5 great games where the Brewers came out victorious in Game 5, only to be swept by the Dodgers in the NLCS. But this series was very good. It was one of the more entertaining divisional series, and they are back at it again to start in here. And then you have the Pirates and the Cardinals, the Giants at the Diamondbacks, and hey, guess what? Dodgers at Padres. I mentioned that Padres were half a game out over the Dodgers. This is a massive, fun series to watch, and then it ends with Rangers at Rockies. So once again, to recap, Blue Jays and Yankees, ALDS rematch. Guardians at Tigers, AL wildcard rematch. Brewers at Cubs, NLDS rematch. Dodgers at Padres, half a game between the divisions. These 2 teams hit each other. Should be a very exciting and fun week of baseball. That brings us to the end of today's episode. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you everybody so much for clicking on this video, clicking on this episode, whether you're listening on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from. I appreciate you. Thank you, buddy, so much. And I will see you on Friday.